Hey, hey, party people. Surprise, shoot the ish. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am weirdly uncomfortable today. Like I can't even describe what I'm feeling. It's not physical, it's not mental. It's just like wholly uncomfortable. So I figured, all right, what's a great way to break this pattern? Why don't I just go on a live while I'm uncomfortable? Sorry, you're gonna hear my washer. Because I enjoy it. I enjoy going on lives and then, when other people hop on and chat with me for a little bit, it's all good fun. Um if you saw my long form content, I posted a video about explaining that I'm not posting long form content on a regular basis anytime soon just because I've been pretty busy, and that's also partially why I'm on a live right now. It's because I am procrastinating with work stuff. It require this particular project that I'm working on right now, it requires a lot of brain power. I love it. I do feel like my brain is being stretched in ways that it hasn't been stretched in a very long time, and so that part of it makes me feel lit up and accomplished and rewarded when I get through the tasks. Um, but then I have to you know, take a break, which is what I'm realizing. Before, I wasn't very, very good on break or taking breaks or being mindful of even like what my body was trying to say or what my mind was trying to say. It was just like, come on, you can like almost like I was almost like a bulldozer my whole life. Like it was just go, like just go. Breaks are weakness. Rest is weakness. You just trudge, and clearly that has worked up until it didn't, right? Maybe you can resonate with that. Um, and then I briefly mention this on my channel sometimes, but if you're into human design, I am a 5-1 self-projected projector. I've recently learned, and I've been learning just a little more about projectors and human design in general. It's fascinating, very, very fascinating stuff. And it really explains a lot. Like, I think projectors make up 20% of the population, and we're quite different from the generators of society. We are not supposed to bulldoze our way. Like that is not our natural energetic genetic makeup, is to bulldoze through life. We're actually supposed to like be alone a lot and like rest, and we're more like guides than like little crazy worker bees. So I think, that's fascinating. Take what you want. Take what you want about that. But yeah, human design has been very interesting. I'm not like fully deep diving into it, but the very little that I've come across and learned over the last 2 years regarding human design, particularly being a projector, has been quite on the nose, I have to say. So yeah, I'm just on here. I might, Helmet from the Mindful Gardener, he always holds virtual dance parties, Zoom dance parties on Sundays at 3:30 Eastern time. And so for me, that's about 45 minutes away, Pacific Standard Time. And I might join in. It's a special Halloween edition, he said. So I might join in. I haven't had the opportunity to join in um previously, so I might just hop in for this first time. We'll see. Or I might just like for, overcome this procrastination and get to my projects that I'm supposed to be working on. How are you guys doing with just sitting in discomfort? It's crazy. Like sometimes you're totally fine. Like I'm like, "Oh, I'm so used to this." And then other times all of a sudden the ego just wants to be like, "Oh my god, we freaking hate this right now." And that's kind of how I'm feeling. The past 2 days have been such a high because we've been doing really fun things with my kids because it's Halloween season, right? So we went to a trunk or treat with their in their with provided by their school. And then my kids had parkour class yesterday, and that was fun. So my husband and I, we took our youngest, and we while they were doing the 2-hour class, which they love, like finally we found something that my boys really love. We've tried jujitsu, we've tried kembo, we've tried soccer. Yeah, we've tried all these different things because we just want them to like, get involved, get active, try different things. And they did everything, but this parkour class that they're doing now is something that like they absolutely love, and it totally fits our lifestyle and our preferences because my husband and I have discovered that we are not what do you call it? We are not organized sports people, you know, because it's such a commitment. It's very demanding, and I'm actually my neighbor. Her husband is a baseball coach, and her son has been in baseball like his whole elementary school life. And she tells me all the time that it's your whole life. It takes up your whole life. Your whole life revolves around this organized sport. So, in theory, it sounds great, and maybe in the future we'll be able to do it. But because I have friends who do it successfully, like we have friends that they have 3 kids, and they all play in different leagues for I think baseball or softball, one of those sports, and they go to everything. Like they do everything, and I marvel at them because I'm like, how even do you do that? Especially here in California, where it's not like the '90s, where like I mean, I grew up in Hawaii, so there wasn't much of a demand, I feel like, on there wasn't much of a demand on parents back then where I lived because the kids, we were free to walk wherever, right? Like you 90s kids and before that, the rule was, "Hey, mom, dad, we're gonna go out. Don't," and then we will come home when it gets dark or not even after, but it was fine, like everyone was fine with that. So it wasn't much of a demand, I feel like, on the parents in that regard. But nowadays, especially here, now that I'm in California, and you literally have to drive everything, at least where I live, you have to drive everywhere and you have to drive the kids everywhere. It's quite a commitment to attend and bring them to all the extracurriculars, and then you sit there and you have to wait for them to be done. Like it's fun to watch them, but then you have to sit there and wait for them to be done. It's like it's demanding. It's a commitment. So, anyway, long story short, my husband and I realized that we are not organized sports people, and our kids don't seem to take to that either, but like they love doing this more adventurous, like nuanced stuff like parkour. Like who goes to parkour class? Like they're learning these like parkour ninja skills, and they're having fun, and they're playing, and they're jumping into foam pits, and they're running and jumping up walls and balancing on beams and stuff, and it's fantastic. And they were emitting so much like dopamine and endorphins, I'll say endorphins yesterday because they love their parkour class so much. So we're gonna stick with that. Anyway, all that to say, now my family's gone. Sunday they went to church, and I don't go for various reasons. But I am not going right now. I have not been going for over a year. And so I feel like I wrote an article about this on Medium too. Like when you come down from the high of things and the busyness of things, and then you're left alone with just yourself and your nervous system and your feelings, it gets really uncomfortable. Just like on an emotional level, like I feel anxious, like really anxious. I don't know. It's interesting, but we do our best to allow with no judgment and stick to the schedule and moving on and getting outside. And so yeah, I might, if you guys go to Helmet's Mindful Gardener dance party, I might, just to move my body, because yeah, look, I'm like shaking my leg. I'm like, I don't know, I feel really weird. Really, really, really weird. I don't like it. And it's okay to not like how you're feeling, because who likes how they're feeling all the time? Unless you're like a monk who has trained themselves to, be okay with everything. I'm not there yet, clearly. But yeah, it feels good to say it And that's something too, I might change my mind on this, but you know how sometimes in the mind body space, like sometimes you don't feel like you can express how you feel in regards to like how you don't like how you're feeling, because I know in DNRS they do this, mind change they kind of do this too, where they want to keep it to the positive, and I get that. I get it because repetition, forges the results. So if you're constantly like moping around and being miserable and commiserating, and that's going to reinforce a danger response. So I get it. But you know what, to be honest, the other day I just like sat on the toilet and I just went, my god, this is horrible. But not in a I want it to stop, just in a like, man, I am validating my tangible somatic experience and it's still allowed. I'm still allowing all the sensations to come up, but my God, this is awful. So I don't know if that's a right or wrong thing to do, but it just felt good to just validate myself and say, like, this is horrible. And then we move on. So I don't know if that's a flare up or a setback or whatever. Honestly, at this point, like when you say, I kind of don't even believe the meaning of setback anymore, because to me, a setback is you're going backwards. But if you're waking up every day and it's a brand new day every day, how can you keep going backwards? Like you know, what linear line are you on? We're really not. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even the term setback, I feel like I need to create another term for that because it implies we're going backwards. But if you're waking up every day to a brand new day, unless we figure out time travel and we can actually go back, I don't think there are setbacks. I think it's just we wake up one day and we're really uncomfortable. We wake up the next day and we're really uncomfortable. We wake up the next day and we're really uncomfortable. And sometimes it like the discomfort is more intense and severe, but as far as it being a setback, it's not a setback. It can't be. Like definition wise, it cannot be. We have not gone back to the previous day, you know? Like this is the journey. And I think that might be helpful for some of you who like we're so conditioned to think linearly and we're learning more and more. Actually, this is totally shooting the ish all over the place. But if you guys, there's research that literally came out yesterday or the day before with quantum physics experts. They've recently learned that the way, I'm probably not explaining this right, but my understanding is they've discovered that time and space doesn't move linearly. They actually, it folds onto each other. So the implications of this is that what you do in the present is affecting your past because they kind of exist simultaneously, is my understanding. And so if time is folding on itself, past and present is intertwined and folding upon itself. So that means if you can change your responses and your reactions, your actions in the present moment, then that changes what happened in the past. And this is kind of related to what mind change talks about, which I'm part of their student community. I mentioned that before. It's kind of like they posit that our memories of our past experiences aren't exactly real, and every time we recall our memories something changes. Like it's not because it's not happening now, right? It's just what our brains remember from the past and it's tied to an emotion. So wow, I didn't realize this was going to be such a quantum physics tangent. And I'm not a quantum physicist. I am just an armchair, curiosity reader of all these things and trying to make sense of it in my life and in my mind body recovery journey. So let me preface it with that. But So I thought of the first thing that came to mind when I read this as part of the article was, so every time I can show up intentionally for my kids in a way that I wished my parents showed up for me, then time, the present moment folds onto the past in the quantum field. Do I sound crazy? Maybe, but this is how I understand it. If I can show up as the parent that I wish I had to my kids, then that is healing my inner child from the past who didn't get who felt like she didn't get what she needed. She didn't have her needs met. But if I can meet that within my parenting, within my relationships now, then that heals the past. You know what I mean? And honestly, having that understanding, or even if you don't believe it, or if you don't think it's, has merit, having that awareness is remarkable, because then it's like, well, then what is the past to me? It's nothing. It can be changed, it can be modified. Yes, those horrible things may have happened to me in the past and how I remember it and how my emotions are linked to it, but if I can show up differently and follow a different pattern, in a desired pattern that I want for my life now, then what power does that memory, this old emotional charge that's linked to the memory, what power does that have over me now? It doesn't, right? Because I can choose to become and act like a totally different person with totally different core beliefs now. Does that make sense? So, in theory, it sounds easy. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. In theory, it's simple. Basically, it's okay, well, you're like, I don't like all these things in my life. So I am going to start acting like how I want my life to be and what I believe it to be as. Like, I'm not making any sense. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I get to choose exactly the kind of person I want to be, and my actions and my emotions. So I'm just gonna be this different person. And then the idea is, in the quantum field, like, right, what you are, what you attract. So if you're showing up as this totally different person with totally different core beliefs from what you had before, then that's going to change literally everything. That's going to change your present. It's going to change your past. Obviously, it's going to change your future. It's, implications are kind of nuts about it. So I'm so glad that researchers are diving into this. It really, again, the implications, right? So this is like interesting time that we're living in now. Oh, and I wanted to mention one last thing, going back to like when I was talking about how parents back in the day, they didn't have so much of the extracurricular demands that parents nowadays have, because they have to drive their kids here to all these extracurriculars. They have to sit and watch these games. They have to, all that stuff. I forgot to mention, I was telling my husband this. I think that in the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, maybe even sooner, I think we're going to have way more self-driving cars. So out of left field, right? We're going to have like self-driving cars are going to start becoming the norm, in the way that when the iPhone just came out in 2007, and it was like innovative and revolutionary, and a lot of people were kind of like resistant to it. And now, what is it? 12 years later, what year are we in? Whatever, over 10 years later, it is the absolute norm, right? Um, just like when the internet came out, just like when people, like when personal computers came out and families started to realize, oh, we could actually have a computer in our home. I swear, when I tell my kids that, like, oh yeah, we had no devices, we had no computers, we had no internet when we were kids, they're like, what? They can't, their brains can't even fathom all of that. So all that to say, I really think in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have, like, self-driving cars is going to be the norm, and it's going to be widely accepted that parents can just program their cars like a little device, because the Tesla is pretty much just it, like when you drive a Tesla, it doesn't even feel like a real car. It feels like you're driving another device, but a big one, in my opinion. So we're going to get to a point where parents can just program into the car destination, pickup time, drop off time, all that stuff, and they will all feel comfortable letting our kids just get into a self-driving car and let them, and we can track them on our devices or our computers, whatever, to make sure everyone's safe and they're exactly where they're supposed to be. And I really do think we're going to hit a point where kids are going to be shuffled around in self-driving cars without their parents, and that's going to free parents up to do whatever the heck they need to do, right? Like if you're a parent, you understand, like just chauffeuring your kids around is quite a lot of takes a lot of time. And you have to like plan your day around that sometimes, especially if they're into all this extracurricular stuff. So yeah. So yeah, just like shooting the ish. Lots. These are the things that have been running in my mind, among other things. There's so many other things going on in my mind. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks you guys for listening to my shooting the ish. No one came on today. It's okay. I'll catch you guys the next time. I know things have been pretty rough for a lot of people. I think it has to do with the cosmos. um, I just recently learned we're in the shadow period of the retrogrades right now, so things are going crazy. But I just feel like everything's going crazy. I just feel like everyone's affected, and we're being called to higher places and stuff like that all the time. So that's why this is a particularly uncomfortable time for a lot of people. And you know what? And all what have we learned on this journey? We've learned to just allow everything and all of it and all that's coming through, because it's coming through to finally be released, to be expressed, so that you're left with a clean slate, your authentic self, your true self, uh, and you're free is the idea. And you've integrated, so you have wholeness, like you recognize your shadow, you can recognize your ego, because your ego's always going to be there. But whether you let it drive your life anymore, that's the difference. So it's just like really knowing all the parts of yourself and letting it all be heard and witnessed and integrated. That's wholeness. Wow, what a tangent. Please comment down below with anything. I love to engage with you guys. It looks like it's gonna rain. I think this little shoot the ish live helped me get over my procrastination, because now I feel fueled to get back to my project that I'm working on for work. So, what is it? Yeah, I'm not even, the Niner game is on. I'm not even turning on. I'm just like, I literally, guys, I've been sitting in this quiet house for the last couple hours, just feeling this discomfort, honestly. And yeah, now we're gonna keep on keeping on. Okay, last ditch effort. Say hi if you're here. Oh, nope, that person left. It's okay. Let me know, what are your plans for Halloween? What are you doing? What are your kids doing? If you have kids, my kids happen to be there's no school on Halloween this year. So I need to figure out what the heck we're gonna do. But I have a feeling, if the San Francisco Giants were playing in the World Series this year, you know what I would do? I would set up a projector flashing on my garage of my home and play the World Series as trick-or-treaters come and we pass out candy. That's what I would do. But, the Giants are not in the World Series, unfortunately, this year. But you know what? I told my husband, I know the Dodgers are a huge rivalry for the Giants, and historically they have been. But you know what? I'm going to watch the World Series, because Shohei Ohtani is, I, regardless of how you feel about the team and the franchise, Shohei Ohtani is a once in a lifetime generational talent, and we are so blessed to be witnessing his athleticism and talent and skills. So I want my kids to be able to say, I watched this guy, modern day Babe Ruth, who's even better, right? Than the great Bambino, the legendary great Bambino. This guy's even better. Just matter of fact, on a technical scale, better. And we get to watch him in our lifetimes. So please comment below. Seriously, please comment below, like, share, subscribe. Let's start a conversation in the comments about whatever the heck I talked about in the last 25 minutes. Okay, you guys, take it easy. Take care of yourself. Sit in that discomfort, but know that you're okay. Telling myself this too. Okay. Love you guys. I will see you soon.